But I always tell people if they're gonna start something, I know it's like cliche, but consistency. So maybe they start and they see something and they're like, oh, that's really easy, I can do it, or I feel like that would be really cool, but it's not really their passion, and so they get burnt out really fast. I've always put myself in a pool of people that are always better than me.
Surround yourself with people who are doing what you want to be doing. Fast track to success.
Yep. Fast track.
Welcome back to Ignition Point. I'm Debbie Hart.
Sean Finnegan.
And today we have...
Absolute honor to have you, Jeff.
Seriously.
We tried to track you down out of LA. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
It means the world to us.
Yeah, stoked to be here. Thanks for having me.
Honor to have you. Jeff is an online influencer. He's got a set of pipes. He's a great singer. He's got a great
Appreciate
family and everything else, and puts out incredible content. So thanks for being here.
Yeah, dude. Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
So this show's about, to entrepreneurs out there. It's Ignition Point. Where did all that start? I mean, you started many years ago, probably putting out content when it was like kind of a newer idea.
Yeah, so September this year, we'll start year 9 in like online.
9 years.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
so it'll be starting year 9. So we actually, we got kind of lucky. I grew up like in the church world. And so I had that like 9 to 5, like paycheck to paycheck, just barely making it. And we live in California my whole life. So, I was kind of like right to turning almost 30. I was like 28, 29. And I started feeling like, man, what's next? It's like, I'm almost 30, I got kids here, like, what am I gonna do?
Start reflecting on life, you're like, okay.
Yeah, and then I had family that was in YouTube, and when I just got into it, I had no idea what the power of it could be. And we had family that were doing it, and they were like, hey, dude, we made like 10 grand this month. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And it was like the next month, hey, man, we made like 25 this month. And I was like, how? Like,
it took me
it's
4 months to
YouTube.
make that,
Yeah, it's like, that's YouTube. Like,
Yeah.
how is that even possible? And so they just like graciously said, come on, dude, you got to try this now. You got to jump in. Your family's amazing. Like, you got to be a part of this. So they took me out of like my 9 to 5 job and paid for my salary, so I didn't lose anything out of it, and taught me the business. And I got to meet like a ton of incredible influencers along the way. And then they said, when you're ready to like fly and go your own way, like, our blessing. And so then we just started our own channel. We started doing brand deals, and the rest is history.
Jeez.
So we got lucky. Like, that's really what it was. We had family that was in it that really kind of just gave us a little bit of a push, which was
Why
nice.
do you think people watch your show? So you have the family vlog, and then you have your music and everything else, and you work with Kyler, who's here today. Shout out to Kyler.
Just make a cameo. Just
We need a
walk
cameo.
Yeah,
by.
come over here.
Cameo Kyler.
See who you are.
On the show.
Cameo Kyler.
Across both cameras.
This is our
That's
guy,
my boy
Kyler.
right here,
This is
baby.
our guy, Kyler, right here.
This is
We
my
love this
dog.
guy right here. All right. That was a great cameo. I appreciate it. So, out of all the things you're doing, what would you say is your number one? What's like one of your top focuses right now?
Right now, oh man, just trying to stay afloat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
lot
is it
coming
tough
at
right
you, bro.
now?
I feel like social media is always evolving and changing, so when we first started, it was like every day we filmed, and I would edit that night and I would upload the next morning. So I did 7 days a week, and you could not miss a day. And you couldn't, that was kind of like what people wanted, was like family vlogs. It was like at a high. So they wanted like what happened that day. I would edit that night and I would upload it that morning, the next morning. And we did that 7 days. And so then it started like, getting a little bit more saturated, where people were kind of used to it. Because we at the beginning, when we first started, if you're holding a camera in your hand and you're walking around in a grocery store or even at like Disneyland or whatever, like, everybody thinks you're somebody, because nobody was really doing that.
9 years ago.
Yeah, and now it's like everybody's filming
Yeah.
themselves, so it's like people are doing TikTok dances in the middle of, Times Square, and people are just walking by, and you got people that are like, heart, I love it, and it's like nobody cares, they're just walking by. So it's kind of a lot more normal and saturated.
Yeah.
But back then it was, it was kind of like the Wild Wild West. We didn't know what to do, and so we just knew that was working. And so now obviously social media has changed, and we're like, we do better now on TikTok than we did before, because it was a different platform. It was like dancing, like I think it was Musical.ly. And we're definitely not a dancing family. Like, we are not the dancing family at all. So we've tried it and it doesn't work.
Why do you think, going back to the family vlog, why do you think, Pete, because I've watched it a lot.
Yeah.
And some days it's like, hey kids, today we're gonna make pancakes, or the facial, or whatever it is. Why do people watch the family vlog? What would you say the top reasons are?
My kids.
Yeah.
I think my kids are the top reason for people watching us. But I think just in general, family vlog, like we had a lot of parents that it was like their safe zone, you know? So like we've always created like family friendly content. We've never talked about politics, never talked about religion. We've never talked about like anything that is, you know, things that parents don't want other people influencing their children. We just wanted to create entertainment and just have like a healthy family lifestyle. And so I think that's a big draw. I think parents trusted our content along with like others that we were involved with. And then we did like fun stuff. I mean, we did stuff with the Fish Fam and people loved it. I spray painted his car and we've done just like, you know, different, you know, influencers around, and I think
Not just the vlog, the music videos.
Yeah.
That forever video
It was
with your
killer
whole
video.
family
Yeah.
singing and the
Yeah.
girls doing the duet.
Freaking killer.
And obviously there is a need for that kind of entertainment because you have 6.5 million views
yeah.
on just that one family music
Yeah.
video.
Yeah.
So what was the inspiration behind that?
I wanted to start doing music, and when I met my wife's family, I wasn't really in music, and then her family was super musical. So that's when I started really doing music.
Really?
Yeah, that's when I
Through
really felt
marriage,
like,
huh? You
yeah,
didn't
that's when I
grow
felt
up
like
that
I
way?
really like took the next steps. Like I was leading at the church, and I was playing as much as I possibly could. I was like influenced by them for sure. My dad did music, but they were like all into music. And then we needed a new intro, and I wanted it to be our own song. And so for the YouTube channel, and so I was like, hey, let's do a music video, and let's have it be our intro for our channel. So I mean, it's got 6 million views on that one video, but I mean, we have, you know, over 1 billion views on our channel. So a lot of that portion of that 15 seconds or whatever is half of, you know, that too as well. So it's like, you know, it's been crazy. But I think people liked seeing not just like me singing, but seeing like both my girls sing on that.
Whole
and my
family
wife sing
working
on that.
together.
Yeah,
So
it's cool.
sweet.
Now you watch content all the time, and you're a content creator going on a decade. And so, what would you say are the top 3 mistakes you see content creators make? Maybe your top ones you just run into, and then what would you say the top 3 things you got to do if you want to create content?
I think people that make mistakes are taking other people's content and trying to repurpose it when it's not really who they are or what their brand is. So maybe they start and they see something and they're like, oh, that's really easy, I can do it, or I feel like that would be really cool, but it's not really their passion, and so they get burnt out really fast.
And it comes across as not authentic at all to the
Yeah,
people
it's
who
just
try to
like-
watch it. It's like just not real.
Just
Yeah.
copycatting
It's got the
something
fake
else.
mimic
yeah.
feel.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think, I mean, obviously everybody repurposes content. Like TikTok is like key for that. Like everybody's like, oh, this went viral, let's do it real quick. And that's totally cool, but like, you know, it's people ask us all the time, like, hey, we want to start a family vlog channel. I'm like, are you sure? Because it's a lot of work to do it. I think people misunderstand the amount that goes into filming, editing, putting up stuff, constantly doing it.
Some days you wake up, you probably don't feel like doing any content.
Yeah, and then I guess
Yeah.
it's just like any other business. You get I mean, we're in year 9 in September, so it does become like this kind of like, you're like, oh, do we have to do this
We
again?
have to,
Yeah.
especially the
Yeah.
kids. How do you keep kids motivated?
Kids are in a bad mood. You're still like, hey kids, let's get this going.
We've made our mistakes there too. I mean, we did 7 days a week. That's one of the reasons we went down in days, was because I felt like my priority was like filming. And even though it gave us like a massive opportunity to stay at home, do family stuff, go on trips and film all that, it definitely was like a lot of pressure on the family and the kids at the time. And so we definitely had to like adjust and say like, all right, let's go down to 5 days. And then we were like, all right, let's go down to 3 days. And obviously at that point we had kind of a snowball effect. So we were okay to be able to drop content and not, you know, lose out. But I always tell people if they're gonna start something, I know it's like cliche, but consistency, like I had a friend and he was, you know, didn't know anything about the social media world. We went on a vacation and he was like, dude, I feel like my family can do this. And I said, if you're gonna do this, I'll help you out, but you have to commit to at least 1 year. Do 1 year and go all in, and then adjust from that 1 year. If you, and stay with it. So it's like, if you're gonna do family vlog for 1 year straight. You know, try and do it and then see where you're at. If it's working, awesome, keep going and you love it. If it's not, adjust and change it. But if you're not being consistent for a year, then you're not gonna see anything. Because it's so saturated right now. You can't just like put content on it. You have to.
When do people hit a wall? They try to start, and then generally is it like right out of the gates they realize pretty quick, hey, this is just way too much?
I think people do that, and I think people hit a wall when they get a viral video, if it happens, and then they don't get any more.
Yeah.
And then they go,
Then it's frustrating.
yeah. Yeah, they're like, man, what happened?
They caught lightning in a bottle once, and they're like, how do I catch that lightning
yes,
again?
Yeah.
I had friends. I
Yeah.
mean, literally 0 subscribers when he had. I want to say this was on TikTok. I want to say he had maybe 200 or 300, followers at the time, just from like random followers. And he had a ping pong video that he did, and I was like, because I was just telling him, I was like, hey, whatever content I do, just do it. Like, just copy it, and let's get you in the algorithm. Let's get you doing it. Had like 42 million views overnight.
Dang.
On TikTok.
Whoa.
He literally had under 1,000 subscribers.
Whoa.
Wow.
And it just went mega viral. I mean, I was like, dude, I've never had a video hit that many.
Yeah.
And you had nobody. That was like the power of social media. So it grew his social media. But then I think the frustration came when it was like, I feel like I'm like, now am I the ping pong
Right.
guy? Is that all I'm gonna do? And it's like,
One hit wonder.
yeah, is that all
Like,
what it's
I've
gonna
gone
be?
to the moon now, what do I
Yeah.
do, right?
And so it's like the frustration happens when you're like, why did this video do so well and this didn't? I'm like, that's the game. But I mean, we've always had like friendly competition, and I think that's what led us to like the years of what we're doing, where it's like, if you're doing content, you're doing content, and I'm doing content, and we do the same thing. Why does his become, super viral and our two don't? And it's like, okay, well, let's figure it out. Let's do it again, or let's collab. Let's figure it out. So I think that healthy competition is always fun.
Tell us about a video you shot that you thought was going to go viral. It's like, this is the one. This is it. Tell us specifically about it. And then maybe another surprise where you just rolled out, did a video, and all of a sudden it hits.
Oh man, so I didn't know how to do any of the editing process, right? I did music in the church, and then when I started doing YouTube, I literally was like, I downloaded a editor app, and I had no idea what I was doing. And then I had friends that were super into like editing and photography, and they knew how to do all kinds of like really cool edits. And so I would spend like hours trying to figure out like just a little portion. And I was really tough because I didn't know how to edit. So I'd be like, no, Sean, stay right there
Yeah.
and don't move,
So I don't have
because
to edit.
in my mind I'm thinking like, this is how I'm gonna edit it. So I would spend like hours and I'm like, this video is gonna kill, it's gonna do so good. And then it would literally like flop. And so then the next day, because when we were doing like daily vlogs, I would just be like, you know what, it is what it is. I'm just gonna put this together because I'm tired, I don't wanna have to edit again. The other video, did terrible, put it up, and then it would hit 1 million views in a day. So all that, like, I just felt like people just wanted just to see like real, raw, authentic. They didn't care about my edits. But as a creator, I wanted to do something that was like satisfying for me. Like I wanted my like other creators to be like, dude, that was a sick edit, but that's like the 1%.
That's your
of
payday.
Whoever's watching.
Having people tell you how great it is.
Yeah, that was what was making me like feel like motivated to do it rather than the views at the time.
What's your most viral post?
We've done, so like on TikTok, we've done a couple things where, we'll say whoever moves first, has to clean the entire house. And then we just stand there staring at the camera for like a minute. And it's dead silent like that for a minute. And so people watch it like seeing who's gonna move first. Plus I have like a toddler, so they're super impressed that he can just like stay still and not move for a minute. We've done that, and then we've done like collabs. We did like a twin collab with some of our friends, the LeBrant family, and then obviously like our blonde girl and their blonde girl, like they were like twins. That did really well for us, and they were super helpful in that. We just went to the house and did like a twin telepathy challenge. So a lot of kid content, honestly.
Tell us what you're doing with Kyler. He just did his cameo over here.
Kyler's
So
my
what
boy.
are you guys doing?
He's sleeping right now.
Is he sleeping right now? Is he
Might be.
catching up?
You're still
love
on
it.
air.
Dude, honestly, like, it's funny because we met Kyler and Madison, the Fish Fam, probably like, was it 5 or 6 years ago? Might have been 7 years ago, something like that. I think Kyler and I are a lot alike because obviously we have the family vlog stuff. We did that, but we both have like a massive passion for music. And we have a massive passion for our family, and we have 2 large families. So it's like, we have a lot in common. And Kyler hit me up and was like, hey dude, I wanna start doing like live shows. And that's like what I've been doing for the last 20 years. And I was just like, dude, let's do it. So like, I basically have been putting teams together. Kyler's been pumping out music, and then we're just trying to play as many shows as people will give us opportunities. So it's like, we just want to do, some fun shows and hang out, and it's an escape for us, and it's like fun. So.
When's the next big show? July?
Next big show is July, Fan Fest, Country Fan Fest here in Utah. We played it last year.
Was that the
Epic.
last year where the roof flew off?
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had no
That's like
idea what
God
to
saying
expect.
something.
It's
Yeah.
out in the flats out there. They have a bunch of trailers that come in. We opened the entire festival. Had no idea what to expect. I would say probably 1,000 people showed up. when we thought maybe, you know, who knows, it could be like just Kyler's family and friends.
Right.
We have no idea, you know, and we rocked it, dude. We killed it. It was amazing. We had terrible in-ear sound system, and it literally didn't faze him. And that was like one of Kyler's like bigger first shows. So,
And then what happened after you guys got done?
dude, the windstorm kicked in like no
Dude.
other, and roof was flying off, and
Yeah,
they,
blew the roof right off the place. You guys.
yeah, they literally just
Yeah.
didn't let anybody stay around there, and
Yeah.
it was gnarly, but it was fun.
That could have been like that. That's a legend of one of the greatest shows ever. Like you blew it.
blew
up.
it
You
right
literally,
off, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It kind of felt bad because, you know, I know these guys play all the time, but man, there were some people that flew in from Nashville. They didn't even get to play. They just
Really?
and they flew right back home that next day.
no.
And I was like, oh man, I'd be so bummed.
Okay, what is your best advice
Yeah.
for someone wanting to start either content creation
Yeah.
or a music career?
I say content creation, it depends on where you want to go. Short form is definitely the easiest, but if you start short form, you will have a hard time transitioning to long form because you'll just think that it's very easy and it's like, oh, I can film on my phone and edit it real quick and upload it. So if you really want to be like a true content creator, short form is definitely the easiest way to start and go viral, but I feel like you have to have a plan to start long form as well. Because we started doing long form first, and so short form was like, oh, it's really easy. And now even for us, short form is like, it's just easy and convenient, and I don't want to film a long form video because I don't want to edit it. I don't want to send it off. I don't want to do any of it, you know? So it's like you'll get in the habit of not wanting to do that. So obviously consistency and starting a plan to at least have both if you're just going to start in short form. But in music, I think it's just like an expression of yourself. You know, I always get inspiration from all kinds of people. I love all types of music. I've tried everything from pop to I wanted to be a rapper. You know, I've done Christian, I've done country, I've done rock. I wanted to be a punk. You know, like I literally have wanted to do everything. Yeah, like some of my friends are metalheads. I'm like, dude, I want to be in a metal band. So I think it's just like, you know, being true to yourself, continuing to write. I always surround myself with writers because I'm not like, that's not my gift. But it's obviously something you get better and better at. So I always try to surround myself with better writers. And I've done that from day one with musicians. I've always put myself in a pool of people that are always better than me.
Surround yourself with people
Always.
who are doing what you want to be doing. Fast track to success.
Yep, fast track.
So this is to be continued. Honor to have you.
Thank you guys.
Thank you
Appreciate
so
it.
much,
Thank
Jeff.
you
Yeah.
so much.